Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome. And on today's, this is not a vlog. I don't know what to call this, but I'm just sitting down because I actually want to share with you the books I've read this year. You guys, I'm so proud of myself because one of my goals this year is to read at least one book each month. And the thing is, I've actually read sometimes more than one book. I've read two books or maybe one and a half. And it's actually been such a very interesting journey. Guys, I've always wanted to be a reader and there's always something that I don't have time or whatever. But this year, I've actually had time. I think I've only missed reading a book in a day. Like I've only missed 3 days of reading a book. And it's usually because I just had a long day that day and I thought, okay, I read my book earlier on. You get it? Only from the next time I realized, oh, I actually did it. You get? But like that's one of the goals I've actually stuck to, and I feel like I can call myself a reader now because I actually really be reading books. Um, I'm not going to go. I was going to say I'm not going to go in order because I can't remember the order, but I've picked out the books that I know I've read this year, and they're just right in front of me. But what I was going to say was in December last year, I really wanted to read books, especially theology. Okay, so books that talk about God. So I have a lot of theology books here that I've read, and along the line, the books that I've read this year has sort of like changed. So I still have a lot of theology books that I'll probably read by the end of the year, or some of them I'll read next year because I splurged in December. I splurged on a lot of theology books, but I've read a few books here and there that are not theology related, but yeah, and I've also read some self-help books also. So I'm happy to share. I think we should actually get into it because all this yapping. Okay. I'm not going to start in order. So the first book on my list is Let Them. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the books and then I'm going to review them. Okay. So this book is a self-help book by Mel Robbins, and this book has helped me realize that you know what, you cannot control what people do. So all you can do is let them. You can control yourself. You can control what you do, but for others, you let them. So if they want to talk rubbish about you, you let them. If they want to hate you for the rest of their lives, you let them. There's nothing you can do. Okay? You let them. And if they want to help you, you let them. You get it? This book was really good. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'll rate it with 1 being the poorest and 10 being the best. I'll rate this book a 7. Yeah, I'll rate this a 7. Um Another book on my list is Anxious for Nothing. To be honest, I'm just gonna I'll rate this a 5. It's a Christian book, by the way. I'll rate this a 5. Um, I don't think any of the books I've read so far has a 10, and it's only because 10 is for God. I'm going to be like those Nigerian professors that'll tell you that the top mark is for God. Okay, so 10 is for God, guys. So let's see. The next book I've read is It's Not Working, Brother John, and this is a financial book from a Christian angle. So it talks about dealing with debts, it talks about tithing, the importance of tithing, and all of that. This was such a good read. Okay, it made me realize that the same things I need to stop doing financially, and I'll give it a 7. Yeah, 7. Oh my god, this book, The Marriage Book by Nikki and Silas Lee. Do you know the funny thing? This was my third time trying to read this book. Every single time I read it, I tried to read it. I was just not getting past like chapter 3. I don't know. I wasn't really in my reading era, but I think now I'm in my reading era. I was able to read this book, and it was so enlightening. Like I have the parenting book as well by them, by this couple. I really when I'm in that era, on that phase of my life. But right now I'm not in that phase of my life. But this was actually very, very interesting. And I'll give this an 8. Yeah, I really loved reading this book actually. I'll probably read it again. Oh my god, this book, this book, yeah, this book was tea, was tea. This is not a Christian book, a self-help book. It's just a regular novel. I don't even know if I want to call it romantic novel. I don't really know. But yeah, it was written by Yomi Adegoke. Yeah, to be honest, I recommend this book. It was so funny. Not funny, it was so interesting. Yeah, it was actually so interesting. I don't know, because I want to tell you guys what the story is about, but then again, I'm just like, spoiler alert, but I love spoilers. If you're here, you should love spoilers. Okay. Anyways, it was just about a couple, a black couple, or black love sells and all of that. But the man ended up being in a list, and the list involved people that the list involved men that had done something to women sexually, whatnot. And his name was there. And this woman is like, and his baby's like an active feminist, all of that stuff. It was really hard to navigate because they were planning the wedding. So she didn't know if she should end it off because if he was on the list or just marry him and believing that her man is a good guy. But yeah, such a beautiful book. I'd actually give this book a 9 actually. Yeah, 9. And then this book, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. I didn't really enjoy this book because this book was really giving us tips on men, understanding men, and in my head, I'm just like, if you're a Christian brother, I do not have to do all this mental gymnastics to understand you. But you know what? I don't think I was in the right frame of mind when I was reading this book. It's not like right frame of mind is not the right thing to say, it's not the right phrase. But I wasn't open enough because I think I need to read this book again because I need to understand men. So I think I need to read this book again. So I will be reading this book again, but maybe next year. But yeah, and I'll be a lot more open minded when I'm reading this book. Yeah. And then another book that I've read is Anonymous by Alicia Britt Chloe. Okay. This book made me realize that we all say we want to be like Jesus, but we don't want to be hidden the way Jesus was hidden. Like Jesus was hidden for the majority of his life. He was hidden for like 30 years. Within those 30 years, we don't know what he was doing. We only know him. The Jesus that we want to be was the Jesus we know for 3 years. So it made me realize that it's actually okay to be hidden. Being hidden is actually strength. He also compares like he also talks about an ice, what's it called? Um an iceberg, I think. An iceberg. Oh, I can't remember if it's actually called an iceberg, but yeah, I think it's an iceberg. Like we only see 10% of an iceberg. What is underneath that ice is 90% of it, and that strengthens the whole iceberg. It actually gives us an equation. Actually, let me see if I can quickly find it so I can say. And I think that stuck with me, like 90% unseen, 10% seen, and I feel like that was the same math that Jesus used. Like 90% of his life, we don't know what he did, but we could only see 10%, and that made him a beautiful man that we know, and like we can't stop yapping about him. You get what I mean? Oh, I don't know where that is. Give me a moment. I need to find it because I think that equation really stuck with me, and I think that it will also help us understand that it's okay to be hidden. And also, he also talked about how that different seasons are in our lives where we're hidden, and most people think that it's a problem, but it's actually not a problem to be hidden. Maybe one thing I need to start doing is actually writing down what I've learned from the books I read. I feel like that'd be so easy to like go back to. But the equation was like every single where. Maybe you should just buy the book. Yeah, just buy the book because I can't find it. Yeah, but yeah, this was such a good book. I'll give it a 6. Um, to be honest, I was going to say save the best for later, but this is what is next on my pile, and it is If You Must Hide. I feel like you see Pastor Boro everywhere on my vlogs. Pastor Boro wrote this book, and this book is so tea. One of the reasons why I love this book is because it's actually a Christian romance book. Because, like, yeah. And the reason why I'm saying that because I do this thing where I exchange books with I exchange books. Not I exchange because I don't really give her my book. I don't really give her my books. I just go to my friend's house. I have a friend that's a reader. So anytime I go to her house, she has books littered everywhere. I just pick one and I read. And I picked one of her books. I don't have it with me because I returned it, but I'm gonna put it because I know I have a picture of it. So I'm gonna put it somewhere here. It's a romantic book. It was such a beautiful book. What would I rate? I probably rate it a 7. But then again, at the end of the book, there was just a lot of sexual content that I did not need to read because I did not need to read. Okay, the Bible says that you should not awaken love, so I didn't need all of that. But it was such a good book, and it has a sequel, and I really want to actually read the sequel. But I'm actually going to ask her like, what's like the sexual content like? Because we need to guide our hearts, we need to guide our minds. But reading this Christian romance book was so liberating because there's nothing like I don't have to worry about sexual content or no sexual content and like Dr. Siga. Every girl needs a Dr. Siga in their life. That's what I'm going to say. So let's rate this book. I would actually rate this book an 8.5 because I do not like how the book ended. I know that there's a sequel, okay, but still, that ended really upset me. But yeah, I'm patient. I'll wait for the sequel, okay? But yeah, this is such a good book, okay? Very good book. Yeah, so this is one of the books that I bought on theology, the reason for God. You know what? I have friends and family that fall under atheist, agnostic, and all of that stuff. I would buy this book for them actually. I need to. But with this book, I think that this book is academia, like it's an academic book. I just feel like it was like a PhD thesis or something because it was when I was reading it just gave me academic vibe. I need to reread this book, I'm afraid. I need to reread this book because I feel like I was in a hurry to finish it in a month. And I feel like this book helped me to become a reader because I read this book in January. But I'm going to read it again next year. And I'm going to take my time this year. I feel like next year I'm not going to give myself the target of reading a book in a month. I'm just going to make sure I'm reading every day. Okay. But I'm going to take my time because I need to take my time to soak it in, soak in a lot of FAQs in this book. This book was so good. But because of I feel like I rushed through it, I'm going to give it a 6.5. I'm afraid. But it's so good. I'm definitely reading this book again. And then Knowing God. This is also a theological book. I think I read this in February. I can't remember when I read it. But yeah, I think it's the same thing with that. I don't think this is as academic as The Reason for God, but probably rushed through this as well. So I'll also give it a 6.5 and I need to read it again. So everything I've shown you is the books I've read in 6 months, okay? And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Plus the one I gave my friend back, that's 11. So I read 11 books in 6 months. Guys, who is this Phoebe? Because old Phoebe cannot relate, okay? It's the month of July, and this is the book I'm currently reading now. It's called The Five Apology Languages, and I feel like this book is really good for relationships and friendship. Like, there's somebody that I would actually like to get this book for, but I don't know if it's in my place anymore. But there's a thing as an apology language. And this book makes me realize that I have an apology language. I haven't gotten to the part where I can diagnose myself to tell me what my apology language is, but it just makes sense, okay? I used to be in this friendship where I would state an issue and that, oh, you did this, you upset me. And my friend or that friend would apologize. And I didn't just want the apology, but reading this book has made me realize that her apologizing is not the problem. She's just not apologizing in my apology language. That's why I found it difficult to like accept that apology. You get what I mean? So I think it's really, really good. So it helps relationships, so romantic relationship and friendship relationship, and even like your family as well. It just helps relationship, understanding people, understanding how people should apologize and how you want to be apologized. And yeah, those are all the books I've read so far. I can't wait to do my book review for all the books I've read in 2026. This is Reader Phebe here, okay? Read books, guys. Read books. And that is it from me. I will see you next time. Bye.